Let's talk money.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Let's Talk Money, and we hope that you have been taking notes because it's all about the top mutual funds that you can look at in the year 2025. Now, we have got lots of categories, and we've been asking both Feroze and Kaustubh for exact fund names. It's time to come down to the small cap category, which continues to dominate investors' mindset and attention as well. So, Kaustubh, small cap funds for 2025.
Small cap, by the definition, I mean, obviously you want exposure to, something that's high growth. And I think one of the funds I really like, again, it's an interesting pick because it's not done that well recently, is the SBI small cap. Now, it's managed by Srinivasan, who's super experienced manager, and he's got a very clear thought process about really buying, growth companies. And he runs a pretty concentrated, even from a small cap portfolio perspective. Relative to a lot of the peers within that group. And again, it's true to label, right? So he is buying companies and, typically it's not a super diversified portfolio. So he's betting on his top picks and he's buying into those sort of smaller cap names, which is a great sort of, so like I said, there's been some headwinds in terms of the growth style, but you would expect that, a manager and a strategy like this will do very well or, over a longer time period, which is anyways required for a small cap strategy.
What about you? Small cap fund picks?
Invesco India small cap, HDFC small cap. Both of them are diametrically opposite in terms of size. One is a 5,000 crore, the other is a 33,000 crore fund. Both these fund managers have their own strengths. Tahir Badshah was the CIO managing the small cap fund. Of course, this has been a part of our portfolio about a year and a half back. It was a disastrous performance. When we picked it up, of course, very difficult to buy bad past performance. But that's done beautifully, and that's now for the last 1 year has been the best part of our model portfolio.
All right, gentlemen, so that's the small cap category. But you know what? It's January, which means that all of us will be getting reminders from our payroll and HR teams in terms of tax saving and the proofs that we have to give. So if you're looking out for some ELSS equity-linked saving scheme ideas, basically the tax saving funds, let's ask our experts. Feroze, you go first.
SBI long-term equity fund is an equity-linked saving schemes, which I would definitely vouch for. The largest AMC is whom I'll give a lock-in to.
Got that. Kaustubh, your top ELSS picks.
So I'm going to make it very simple. So I'm going to go with the Kotak Tax Saver. Again, Harsha's fund run fairly similar to the manner in which he runs the Flexi Cap. So similar reasoning, I think extremely well-managed strategy across market capitalizations. And again, that's the one that I would pick.
Got that, Kaustubh. So we've pretty much covered all the large categories in terms of, large cap, mid cap, small cap, ELSS. Now let me throw in everything else when it comes to your mutual fund basket. As long as you're looking at the equity part of it. So whether it's global funds, international funds, sectoral funds, thematic funds, everything else beyond the 4 major categories that we have discussed. Feroze, any further picks?
SBI Infrastructure is there in my portfolio. I have not recommended a thematic scheme, barring this. After 13, 14 years, we've chosen this scheme in the thematic category because it's optically thematic, but it's more diversified in the thematic category, infrastructure. The one thing which stands out of this fund, for this fund, is the fund manager was an analyst of infrastructure. And he has seen the 2008. Bhavin, who's the fund manager of the scheme, has been an analyst for infrastructure. It's the best combo. Your analyst of that sector of 20 years experience becomes your fund manager. The
really
kind of microscopic worm view and a bird-eyes view, both will be there in Bhavin's.
Because this is one of the rare times that you've chosen to go out into the sectoral and thematic side, and you've liked a fund here. So let's see, hopefully it's going to work really well for investors as well. Kaustubh, let me ask you, any other fund choices, global, like I said, sectoral, thematic, anything else?
Yeah, I'll probably go with the global fund now, obviously with the caveat that they should be open for subscription given the ceilings that are there. But, maybe just a US index fund like a NASDAQ or S&P 500 to get in your, we talk about global diversification. I think that's a beautiful way of playing that. And, that's something I would advise investors to look at.
All right, gentlemen. So now it's almost down to rapid fire. So Feroze, let me come to you. The 1 or 2 fund managers that you will watch for this year, because maybe they're just star fund managers, are on an excellent track record, or maybe you expect them to come back from a rough patch. Who would they be?
SBI Contra, ICICI dividend yield, Mitul.
Okay.
These 2 fund managers.
These 2 fund managers. Mitul from ICICI.
Mathematically, they've added immense value by coming to work every day.
Okay. And Kaustubh, what about you? Any particular fund managers you'll look out for?
Yeah, so I actually named a couple of them. So I think the SBI, there are small caps, so obviously Vasan is one. And I think the other one, which we didn't talk about, but as a house, I think Bandhan. I think Manish Gunwani, he's added a lot of value in terms of strengthening the investment processes. So that's another house that I would watch out for the equity funds as they reshape the investing process. And I think a lot of the work has already been done. So that's probably another place I would watch out for.
Okay, gentlemen, this has been a power-packed punch. It's been interesting, you know, the people, the teams, and the trends, the investing trends that we need to keep in mind as mutual fund investors in 2025. But before we go, viewers, and I don't know, maybe they say save the best for the last, Feroze has decided to come up with his list of the funds that you should definitely not have in your portfolio this year. The funds not to buy or not to have. Feroze, are you actually going to name some funds over here? This could be quite risky.
Funds, of course, this is, you might have friends in this list, being in the industry for about 20 odd years, but this is a mathematical no judgment list, right? What is the mathematics behind it? We've written some algos on different computer languages, which help you figure out if the fund manager were on a holiday and there was no active management for that scheme except the buying and selling resulting from net flows, what would be the actual NAV? That's the actual NAV is published. The hypothetical NAV is computed using those algorithms.
If the fund manager was on leave.
And he
was not taking any additional decisions of selling or buying.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If the same static portfolio adjusted for inflows, outflows.
Okay.
If I do that, the worst for the last 3 years is Mr. Shiv Chanani from Baroda BNP Paribas Mid Cap Fund. If you have this fund, if he didn't come to work for the 3 successive years, the NAV would have been average 9% up.
Okay.
Give me some tolerance because you compute the net flow on a daily basis in this. So it could be 8 or 10, but it would be in the negative zone. So
Baroda, this is the
Baroda BNP Paribas Mid Cap Fund.
Mid Cap Fund. Okay, so red flag.
Red flag. Now let's go to the UTI Large and Mid Cap Fund.
Okay.
Srivatsa is the fund manager. If he didn't come to work for 3 years, average, the investor would be richer by 2.24%.
Okay.
Okay. Again, I'm saying that this is backward computation. Some tolerance you will have to allow me. I will go to the DSP focused fund. Vineet Samre, in this particular fund.
In the past, you really liked Vineet as a fund manager, right?
In the focused fund. See, Vineet as a fund manager in the mid and small cap space could have a different output. So this is pure mathematics, zero objective. If I'm contradicting myself, I'm very happy to. Because if you have to be data backs, you have to be low ego.
Absolutely.
You can't say, "Ye maine keh diya," like Salman Khan, and you stick to it for the next 20 years, right? You have to be low ego if you have to be mathematical. So DSP focused, Vineet Samre has destroyed 1.59 value per year for investors by coming to work for those particular 3 works. And then Mirai Asset Mid Cap Fund, Ankit Jain, has marginally been negative. 0.75 is the value or value destruction due to active management average.
This is Mirai Asset Multi-Cap.
Mid-cap.
Mid-cap.
Okay, very, very interesting. So, Feroze, thank you for that. So, the funds to watch, some of the red flags that you need to look out for, and of course, how we need to do our own homework and research, and then see if you want to take any alternate decisions with respect to maybe some of the funds that Feroze has just named. I must say, Feroze, this is quite brave. Compliments on that final list as well. Okay, gentlemen, before we go, some final advice for mutual fund investing in 2025. How to make sure that we have a wealthy and prosperous year with our mutual funds.
Firstly, listen to Surabhi and the show, and the folks on CNBC. I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I think for any investor, it's keeping your goals in mind, keeping it simple. Don't get swayed by external data or some trendy fund that may not be suitable for your portfolio. I think if you just have that goal in mind and you follow a plan, I think that's the best service that you can do to your portfolio.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us at the start of this brand new year, for guiding us and for giving us very, very specific, actionable advice on what we can do with our mutual funds this year and what we should not be doing with our funds as well. Once again, wish you both a very, very happy 2025. Happy New Year to both of you. And once again, a very happy New Year to our viewers as well. See you again. We'll keep coming back to you with more advice, more wealth creation ideas for your portfolios through the year. See you again, same time, same place next week.
Let's Talk Money